a whole entire show, 2 hours, and nobody tells me my microphone is muted. I have to go back and do all those songs again. Yeah, I'm very professional at this. I've been doing it basically all my life. You see, this house I found and I moved into it. True story. Of course you can, because I turned my mic on. I mean, this is not the first time I've done this, or the second. It's probably about the fifth. Yeah, a fifth is way too much. Okay. So, just for one of my most favorite raids. The sun is a mass of incandescent gas, a gigantic nuclear furnace, where hydrogen is built into helium at a temperature of millions of degrees. Oh yo, ho, it's hot, it's fun, is not a place where we could live. But here on Earth there'd be no life without the light it gives. I get confused with those B flats. We need its light, we need its heat, we need its energy. Without the sun, without a doubt, there'd be no you and me. The sun is a mass of incandescent gas, a gigantic nuclear furnace, where hydrogen is built into helium at a temperature of millions of degrees. The sun is hot, the sun is not a place where we could live. I know that's the wrong chord, but there's a G. But even when it's out of sight, the sun shines night and day. And the sun gives light, the sun gives heat, the sunlight that we see. The sunlight comes from our own sun's atomic energy. I maybe butchered that one. But I can do this one again. This one, it always makes me a little sad because it reminds me of my ex-wife. It's kind of a slow song that recollects just her gentle touch and the times that we spent together. I guess I'll start it now. I lost my lucky ball and chain, now she's 4 years gone. Just 5 feet tall and sick of me and all my rattling on. She threw away her baby doll, I held on to my pride. But I was young and foolish then, I feel old and foolish now. Confidentially, she never called me baby doll. Confidentially, I never had much pride. But now I rock a bar stool and I drink for two, just pondering this time bomb in my mind. I lost my lucky ball and chain, now she's 4 years gone. Just 5 feet tall and sick of me and all my rattling on. She walked away from a happy man, I thought I was so cool. I just stood there whistling, there goes the bride as she walked out the door. There goes the bride as she walked out the door. I could shake my tiny fist and swear I wasn't wrong, but what's the sense in arguing when you're all alone? Sure as you can't steer a train, you can't change your fate. But when she told me off that day, I knew I'd lost my home. Confidentially, I never told you of her charms. Confidentially, we never had a home. But this railroad apartment was the perfect place when she sit and hold me in her arms. I lost my lucky ball and chain, now she's 4 years gone. Just 5 feet tall and sick of me and all my rattling on. Sick of me. She walked away from a happy man, I thought I was so cool. I just stood there whistling. There goes the bride as she walk out the door. There goes the bride as she walk out the door. There goes the bride as she walk out the door. Thank you. Yeah, it's one of those songs that word for word, like, you know, like my ex, you know, she was 5 feet tall, and, you know, definitely my lucky ball and chain. My nickname is Clover, so Irish Island, like, we're definitely meant cosmically somehow to, like, take over the world together. My idea is once I'm president, I'm just going to dissolve the position, and then once every other country in the world does that, we'll have only one position left, and that is the position of overlord of planet Earth, in which their reign shall last for 15 minutes. So every 15 minutes, we elect a new overlord of planet Earth. That way, if any aliens come, we can say, he's our leader. And every 15 minutes, it changes, because that's basically all we need it for after the revolution. The revolution of the mind. I do have special guests that come in every day. This is my buddy. He comes in every day and hangs out with me. He works down the road at the Space Center. I live in Florida near the NASA stuff, and I think he also sells cars on the side, and he does a lot of things. This is my buddy, Melon Usk. Hey, Trime Taveler! Blah, blah, blah. You forgot to turn your microphone on. That was pretty dumb of you, man. You know, one thing that I notice is whenever, like, you're supposed to be doing something and you're singing a song, if you're not looking at your microphone, you'll see it going back and forth. Probably nobody else can hear you. You're not as smart as I am, but that's why I keep you around, because you make me feel a lot smarter than I'll ever be. Thank you, Melon, for coming in. And this next song is for my buddy Melon, who one time we went on this long road trip, and you know, we get in his private jet and we go pretty much anywhere we want to, and then we get out and get in one of his electrical cars, just drives right up to us at the airport. It's kind of cool, but this is what happened. We're in a road movie to Berlin. Can drive out the way we drove in. So sneak out this glass of bourbon and we'll go. I feel like there's supposed to be a capo there. Nope. Oh, that's what's going on. I'm looking at the wrong. Okay, here's what a second capo was. This is what I meant. This is the song. I had it all wrong. Okay. I built a little empire out of some crazy garbage called the blood of the exploited working class. But they've overcome their shyness. Now they're calling me your highness, and the world screams, kiss me, son of God. I destroyed the bond of friendship and respect between the only people left who'd even look me in the eye. I can't get that beat minor. Now I laugh and make a fortune off the same ones that I tortured, and the world screams, kiss me, son of God. I look like Jesus, so they say, but Mr. Jesus is very far away. Now you're the only one here who can tell me if it's true that you love me and I love me. I built a little empire out of some crazy garbage called the blood of the exploited working class. But they've overcome their shyness Now they're calling me your highness, and the world screams, kiss me, son of God. And that is the song about me and my VP, Elon Musk. Elon Musk comes in every day to join me. We have several different guests. We had Johnny Depp. Well, we think we had Johnny Depp. We're not sure if it was the real one. 10 different. I don't know if you've ever booked Johnny Depp before, but I booked Johnny Depp, and 10 different people show up. They're like, I'm the real Johnny Depp. I'm the real, and you don't know if you have the real Johnny Depp. Anytime that you book Johnny, you might as well. Oh, and I don't even have it. So, I guess Elon's my only guest today. Let's see. Okay. Oh yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Oh no, it's being weird. It's being weird. It's very glitchy. So I'm running. I'm streaming to 5 different places, and simultaneously I'm also running 6 cryptocurrency mines on lo-fi internet, and a house that was abandoned that I took over through eminent domain. Well, I haven't actually paid the property taxes yet. I have to pay the property taxes and hold on to it for 7 years, and then it becomes mine. But so I turned on the electric and I turned on the internet, but the water requires a deed or a title or something like that. So I have a 2-way hose connected, and I have 2 hoses connected, and one goes into the neighbor's spigot and the other one goes into my spigot. We turn them both on, and then I get water. I have water pressure and everything. It's great. Alright, so here's one. Once upon a time there was an engineer with never heard of eminent domain. Yeah, you definitely Google that, because all that you got to do if you have a realtor friend, ask them to find a list of houses that have defaulted on their property taxes. And if you move into that house and pay the property taxes, then you can take it before the bank does. Now, if there's loans to the bank and stuff like that, then that's still between them and the bank. And they can remove you for that, but getting mail there, they still have to go through a process to remove you. So like just getting mail there, you have a place to live for 2 months. So if you're constantly, I'm ready to, whenever I get kicked out of here, I have a little, I have a backpack that I fill up that has a tent that's it's a hammock and a bug net and a rain tarp all in one thing. And I just, I can jump on my bicycle and ride anywhere in the United States I want to and look for another house and set it up. So it'd be like time traveling. People would be like, where did Trime Taveler go? And then all of a sudden I pop back up somewhere and they're like, hey! I actually started my campaign, this one, I started running for president in 2018, vice president with Vermin Supreme. Then they replaced me with Spike Cohen after I had a major head injury, concussion and stuff like that. I'm also autistic and maybe a little delusional and mentally ill, who knows, but either that or I'm right. Sometimes I make up my songs as I go, and I forget the words as I go. And then I'll make up another line and take it outside, and it blows away. Don't take your lines outside. Don't take your lines outside, they'll blow away. Well, throwback to when I used to do that kind of stuff. Uh, yeah, all these empty houses going to waste, and all these homeless people not in an empty house, and then especially if they're mentally ill or have any sort of uh, a disability, and they're just not getting into the. I mean, there's houses available for them, right? Yes, if they have like a degree in social working and they can fill out like 100 pages worth of paperwork and show up on time to stuff whenever they like. I mean, that's just See, I told you, man. We were totally like, it's the thing. The law of attraction. Like we're like gathering together and we're like meeting each other. Like Vermin Supreme is an old friend of mine. I've been going to rainbow gatherings and stuff like that, and I always think of him as kind of like, the president of the freaks, and like anyone who's like imperfect or who accepts their imperfectness, because who is perfect? The people on TV that portray a perfect character are perfect, but the actors themselves are never perfect. So that's how the world works, kids. Once upon a time there was an engineer, drove a locomotive, both far and near, come by a monkey who would sit on a stool, watching everything that engineer would move. One day he stopped for a bite to eat, left the monkey sitting on the driver's seat. The monkey pulled the throttle, locomotive jumped a gun to 90 miles an hour down the mainline run. Big locomotive, right on time. Big locomotive coming down the line. Big locomotive number 99 left the engineer with a worried mind. Well, engineer calls up dispatcher on the phone, tells him all about his locomotive was gone. Get on the switch, operator to ride, 'cause the monkey's got the main line sewn up tight. Switch operator got the message in time. So there's a northbound living on the same main line. Get on the switch, we're gonna let him through the hole, 'cause the monkey's got the locomotive under control. Big locomotive, right on time. Big locomotive coming down the line. Big locomotive number 99 left the engineer with a worried mind. Yeah, I don't remember exactly what it was that you agree with me 100% because of the ADHD stuff, but I will definitely like copy that and paste it and put it exactly where I need it. And any times I'll just say, and of course the Irish Island agrees with me 100%. See, you got to be careful what you say to politicians. Always, always, always be careful. Always be careful what you say to politicians. Doesn't matter if it's Donald Trump or Joe Biden or Obama or Jimmy Carter or anyone you like. You can't tell them a thing, 'cause they'll do what they like. They're politicians. They're politicians. They're gonna lie to you, they're gonna pray to you, they're gonna make you think they're gonna give you back your weed, but then they're gonna charge you twice for something else, because they're politicians. They're politicians. They're politicians. And they can go to hell. Except for me, though. I'm the only politician that's allowed to come and go from hell. So I get to pass freely. Not like Ace Frehley. That's a different band. When first I came to Liverpool, I went upon a spree. Me money, alas, I spent it fast. Got drunk as drunk could be. And when my money was all gone, 'twas then I wanted more. 'Twas then that I wished that I was dead and could go to sea no more. I spent that night with Angeline, too drunk to roll in bed. Me watch was new, me money too, in the morning with them she fled. And as I roamed the streets abroad, the hoes they all would roar. Here comes Jack Rack, the young sailing lad, he must go to sea once more. As I was walking down the street, I met with Rapper Brown. I asked him for to take me in, and he looked at me with a frown. He says, last time you was paid off, with me you've job no score. But I'll take your advance and I'll give you a chance, and I'll send you to sea once more. I hired me a boat of a whaling ship, bound for the Arctic Sea, where the cold wind blow through the frost and the snow, Jamaican rum would freeze. And worse than bear, I know hard weather gear, for I lost all my money ashore. 'Twas then that I wished that I was dead, or safe with the girls ashore. Come all ye bold seafaring men, and listen to my song. When you come back from those long trips, I'd have yous not go wrong. Get married, me lads, and keep each night in, so you'll go to sea no more. When first I came to Liverpool, I went upon a spree. That's a little Irish tune that I wrote time traveling back in the day. You get sometimes you miss the riff, right, and you have to stay until the next riff. So I'm stuck in what is that, 19th century Ireland, and I'm I catch a boat to I made it to London town, and man, I ended up missing the rift and having to stay a whole nother year. Oh man, you just can't fit in with society anywhere in the world at that time. So you end up just being like the hermit in the woods. It's like, trying to get all the things that he needs to stay alive. And oh my goodness, I would much rather be from 1996 stuck in 2020 again than be from 2020 and stuck in the 1800s. Whew. Exactly, so unreliable. The riffs are unreliable as the dust. I don't know. Okay, so I will tell you my time travel story. Since we're all here and everything, okay, here it goes. It starts in 1995. I'm gonna try and nutshell quicken up this version. 1995. I grew up in a small town in southern Illinois, and I get arrested and thrown in jail for weed, and they let me out. I'm supposed to go to court. I oversleep, and so I decide I'm gonna go on tour with the Dead. So I go on tour with the Dead, right? Well, I leave to go on tour with the Dead, and Jerry dies. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I left like 3 days ago and to look for the Dead wherever they were, and Jerry died. So I start heading to California. I go to California. I don't go to California. I make it all the way to Arkansas, and then I meet Cora. So I fall in love with Cora, and Cora and I, instead of going to California, go on Fish Tour, and we do some shows and stuff like that. And then Cora breaks up with me, breaks my heart. I'm devastated, and I go to live at my friend Jeff and Danny's farm in Newton County, Arkansas. We're he lived outside of this little town called Irby, and you had to take a dirt road with a low water bridge to get to there. So you had to drive through the water over the Buffalo River to get to his house. It took 25 minutes to drive from town, or from town, if you took a canoe, you could ride the canoe all the way to his house in 15 minutes. So we would, drive into town with the Volkswagen bus and the canoe on top, and then we'd leave the bus parked and ride the canoe back, and then Billy Barker would give us a ride into town some other time, and sometimes Billy Barker gives us a ride in town with the canoe, and we'd leave the bus there. Sometimes we'd come back and check on the bus, there'd be people sleeping in it, which was okay too. We didn't mind. It was kind of what it was for. Anyway, there was this little camp, this old hermit, this old man with these big thick glasses, and this little boy, red head, red beard, looked like a leprechaun. Every time that we drove by, I always said to Danny, I was like, that's a leprechaun, and he's like, no, those are vampires. I'm like, vampires? Leprechauns aren't vampires. Like, that one is. It's like, so that was the rumor in town, in Irby. Everyone in Irby knows about the old vampires that used to live there, and that one day they just disappeared. This is the story about how they disappeared. Okay, so Danny's always scared of the vampires, right? I'm riding home in the canoe one day by myself, because I can paddle it myself and get all the way there, and I can paddle it myself faster than Danny and I can paddle it together. So anyway, I see the leprechaun, and I kind of wave, and he waves, and I pull over and start talking to him. And he asks me for a cigarette. I give him a cigarette. He's got an accent. I can't tell exactly what it was. Maybe a German accent or something like that. Maybe a Transylvanian accent. So I'm talking to this leprechaun vampire, and we start talking about LSD and how it's made. I mention rye grain and then synthesizations and stuff like that, and he's like, because I had read the Anarchist Cookbook, and he freaked out. He's like, you got to talk to my grandfather. And I talked to his grandfather, and his grandfather's very interested, and all of a sudden they realized that this LSD is the fuel that they need for the time machine that they were building. The grandfather and the grandson were from the 1940s. He was a scientist that was kidnapped by Adolf Hitler himself, I guess, and he was forced to make this machine. He had a machine already made, but Hitler wanted it to go backwards, and the machine was only able to go forwards in time. And Hitler basically tortured his family and stuff like that in front of him. And then one day he stole his grandson and the time machine and just took off forward. Fuck whatever happens. And they stopped in 1984 whenever the Berlin Wall fell, and then they left Germany and fled Germany to the United States, and or maybe it was 85. Anyway, 96 was whenever I met them. So they had been living in Hermitage, on the Buffalo River, had their little camp set up there for several years, and he was working on another time machine because he wanted to go. It was too. He didn't trust any of the world governments anywhere. He felt like there was no safe place for him, and humanity was not ready for his brilliance, kind of thing. So. So I help them find pure LSD, the crystallized form. We decided that we're going to go to Memphis, Tennessee to find it. There's a music festival that goes on there every year, Memphis in May Music Festival, and this was in 1996. 95 is whenever I left. It was 96 whenever all this happened. So Memphis in May 1996. If you go through the cameras and stuff like that, you can find pictures of me and the professor. Anyway. There's a so we go there, and whenever we get there, these other people intercept me, and they're like asking me if the vampires are real and stuff like that. I'm like, how do you know about the vampires? And then I kind of run away. I get scared and I run away, and I go back to them, and I'm like, there's aliens out there that are asking me if the vampires are real. And then finally I see them again, and they wave me to come over. They have a Volkswagen bus, really nice pop-up, all popped up and everything. And they're like, come over here. And I'm like, okay. And I was picking 4-leaf clovers, and I was like, what the hell, man? If they're gonna kill me, they're not gonna kill me in a Volkswagen bus. So I decided I'm gonna go over there, and I give them all the 4-leaf clover, and they all looked at each other and kind of smiled and said, "We should call you Clover," and they laughed, which is funny because like that's been my nickname ever since that point. But you know, they were not aliens at all. They were actually from the future, and they had a time machine that went backwards, and they intercepted us at Memphis in May to help the professor fix his time machine so that he could shoot further forward. And I'm doing it in slow motion. He went to 2020, and then whenever I got to the Buffalo River in 2020, I set up a net to capture the vessel as it landed and everything like that. We used the flow of the river to pass it through the chrono halo thing. But anyway, so yeah, I used a net to catch the vessel and then let them out, and you know, a few seconds had passed for them. 24 years had passed for me. Thanks. and I've got a mask on. He's like looking at my mask. I'm like, there's a virus that's going around. And he's like, we're going forward. Because paranoid old man. I tell him about COVID, and so he continues going forward. So he does that, and then after I leave Arkansas, well, actually after I go into town from Arkansas, I see the time travelers again, the ones from the future, and they're the exact same age. And they're in the exact same Volkswagen bus that they were in before, that we used to go to a bunch of Grateful Dead shows. They have a bunch of different time travel methods, and one of them was like you could just lay in the back of their van, and they would like take your consciousness and send it to another. Basically, you'd be like a hitchhiker in another person's body watching this Grateful Dead show, and it was so much fun. Like so whenever I see them, I'm instantly like. They hadn't aged at all, of course. So they were like, "We have a mission," and I had to. So here's where the story gets really weird. The professor had this thing called the Akashic Opal. It was a synthesized technology. Somehow he used electricity and something else to make this thing that you put underneath your tongue, and it makes your mind like a million infinitely times smarter. Like you. It was called the Akashic Opal. It connects your mind to like the ether or the Akashic record, and you can see every single thing. Like any question that you go in with, you would be able to, immediately find the technology to build it or whatever. And so before they left, he gave it to me, and I was supposed to use it or whatever. And the very first time that I used it, someone bumped into me behind me, and I swallowed it, and it's one of those things where you can't, your mind can't handle more than a few seconds. So as soon as I swallowed it, I started trying to vomit, but I couldn't get it out. And then once I was lost for about 36 hours. I sat there convulsing and vomiting, and I shit my pants until it digested itself. And by the time it digested itself, I had no memories left. It was complete. Like once it passed out of my body, it was like over, and I was just like an empty, blank person. And my reflexes in my hands went and like grabbed it out of my pants, and I just I remember like staring at it, and then I put it under my tongue for a second because it like naturally wants to, and so and then my memories come back, and I take it out, and I'm like, oh fuck, and I put everything back, and I put it in my beadbox, and I put my beadbox in my backpack, and I put my backpack up, and I look at the mess I made, I clean it all up, and I'm just so tired, and I'm like, I lay down and I go to sleep, and then whenever I wake up the next morning, my backpack is gone. Fast forward 20 years, so this is after the professor and his grandson went forward. The time travelers from the future also were already gone. They left us in Memphis. The only time I ever got to time travel backwards in time, or even forward, was with them, and that was in Memphis, Tennessee in 1996. So until 2020, whenever they met me in town in Irby after I was done with the professor, they were like, we have a little something that we got to do. So we went back in time to 1996, to the very first time that I tried to use the Akashic Opal, and I bumped into myself, and I watched myself swallow it, and I watched myself go through the entire thing. And after it happened, after I put it in the beadbox and everything, I stole my backpack, and I grabbed it, and I knew how upset I was over it, but I knew how important it was that I did not get what was in that backpack, and I did not open the backpack. I took it back to the bus, and then we took it to the far future, and I gave it to myself as a very old man, laying on my dying bed, and I eat it. That's what I do as that's my final moment in life. So my book isn't written yet. I'm still writing it. I'm like halfway through. And that's part of the reason why I'm running for president, so I can tell people this story. And I'm also not asking people for money as a president, because I want people to know that sometimes things are more important than money. And I want people to understand that someday, if they do not have money, they can do what I did and figure out some way to survive without having a dime to their name. So, and I'm also a big fan of Woody Guthrie. Yeah, he's one of my inspirations. I hung out with him before the dust storm in it was in the month of April 1935. Woody and I were sitting at a kind of a camp together. He was playing guitar and fire for a bunch of people, and we're in Oklahoma, and I'm like, Woody, we should probably take a train and get out of here to see what California is like. This was days before the dust storm come through. It was just starting to start up. You could kind of tell it was going to get bad, but unless if you actually knew, like I did, no one knew how bad it was going to be and how many people it was going to kill. That dust storm was it would have killed Woody Guthrie, and we would not have Woody Guthrie in this universe unless if I had done what I did in order to save him from getting pneumonia. And then he sang songs about getting pneumonia from the dust storm. That's how it works, man. Actually, I got some Woody Guthrie songs that I could sing some people. Woody is one of my most favorite artists of all time. So he's my favorite songwriter. My favorite guitar player of all time, though, is Elizabeth Cotton. She's one of the most amazing guitar players of all time. Self-taught, left-handed, played a right-handed guitar, strung, right-handed, so she's played it upside down. And she plays it in a way that kind of similar. Jimi Hendrix was self-taught the same way, so she has kind of the same kind of dexterity that he had. The one of the biggest differences, though, is okay. Oh, come on! I want more than that. Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah, so about it, John Henry, when he was just a baby, sitting on his mammy's knee, picked up a big old hammer in his hand, said, "Hammer be the death of me, me, me. That hammer be the death of me." My revolutionary mind. He sings a song called "Old Man Trump," which is about Trump's great uncle or something like that. And it's so funny. It's one of those apple doesn't fall too far from the tree kind of things. I don't see it on here. More pretty girls than one, more than one. Yeah, anyway. I've sung this song, but I'll sing it again. The place that I lived on, the wild windy plains, the month called April, the county called Gray, and here's what all the people there say. So long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. This dusty old dust is getting my home, and I got to be drifting along. A dust storm hit and it hit like thunder. It dusted us over and it covered us under. It blocked out the traffic and blocked out the sun. Straight to home all the people did run, singing so long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. This dusty old dust is getting my home, and I got to be drifting along. We talked to the end of the world, and then we'd sing a song, then sing it again. We'd sit for an hour and not say a word, and then these words would be heard. So long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. This dusty old dust is getting my home, and I got to be drifting along. Sweetheart sat in the dark and spark. They hugged and kissed in that dusty old dark. They sighed and cried and hugged and kissed, and said of marriage they talk like this. Honey, hold long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. This dusty old dust is getting my home, and I got to be drifting along. Now the telephone rang and it jumped off the wall. That was the preacher a-making his call. He said, kind friend, this may be the end, and you got your last chance for salvation of sin. I said, so long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. This dusty old dust is getting my home, and I got to be drifting along. The churches was jammed and the churches was packed. That dusty old dust storm, it blowed so black. The preacher could not read a word of his text, and he folded up his specs and he took up a collection. Said, so long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. This dusty old dust is getting my home, and I got to be drifting along. Little Woody Guthrie dust storm song for you. Some of these I don't remember. So long. I just did so long. Okay. So here's one about somebody that everybody knows. Jesus Christ was a man that traveled through the land, hard-working man and brave. He says to the rich, give your goods to the poor. So they laid Jesus Christ in his grave. He went to the preacher, he went to the sheriff, told them all the same. Sell all of your jewelry and give it to the poor. So they laid Jesus Christ in his grave. Oh, Jesus was a man, a carpenter by hand, hard working man and brave. But the congressmen and legislators called him dangerous agitators, so they laid Jesus Christ in his grave. He went to, Jesus Christ came to town, the working folks around believe what he did say. The bankers and the preachers, they nailed him on a cross, and they laid Jesus Christ in his grave. As Jesus Christ, as Jesus was a man, a priest, carpenter by hand, his followers were true and brave. But one dirty coward named Judas Iscariot, he laid poor Jesus in his grave. Now the working people followed him around, sing and shouted gay. But the cops and the soldiers nailed him in the air, and they laid poor Jesus in his grave. As Jesus was a man, a carpenter by hand, his followers were true and brave. But one dirty coward named Judas Iscariot, he laid poor Jesus in his grave. He laid poor Jesus in his grave. Hallelujah! I'm feeling the Spirit today. Well, thank you very much for coming in. I've been live for 3 hours, but only on the mic for a half an hour, so maybe I should redo my cryptocurrency report just so that I have it recorded so I can put it in my highlights and stuff. So I'm going to go to my talking scene, and we'll meet Elon Musk over there. Hey, Trime Taveler, I'm stuck in Hurricane Ian. Help! Help me! I'm coming for you. Just hold on, Elon. Don't let go. I love you. That's the right one, right? Yeah. So now I gotta go Robinhood. Crypto world. Everything looks good there. Everything's good there. All right. Welcome to our cryptocurrency report. I am Trime Taveler, and this is my co-host, Elon Musk. He comes in every day and helps me out with stuff. This here is our cryptocurrency section. As you can see, today we have some big panic sales going on. Bitcoin Cash is our biggest loser at 3.27% down. Bitcoin did break that 20,000 mark. I said that if it can hold it through the weekend, that we'd see some big things. So now that we see that it's breaking, it's hard to tell exactly which way it would go. So I would set, if I was setting limits on purchases right now, I'd set my Bitcoin limit at probably like 18.5, maybe even 18.3. And then if I saw it down to like 17.9, then I would, make a big purchase, because anything below 18 is just gold. You might as well, empty out your savings, your 401k, get another mortgage on your grandmother's house, and just take every single penny that you possibly can and put it all into I wouldn't put it in Bitcoin though. Put it in anything else. Put it in Litecoin. Look at that, $52. By the time that Litecoin is like $400 again, it's going to be almost $500, and it's going to break its record high. And then people are going to be like, "Oh my goodness, how did you know? You were right." And then I'd be like, "Time travel." I mean, it's the only explanation really. But so my advice for today is to actually set some lower limits than what we've got, because we might see tomorrow we're either going to see improvement or we're going to see this trend continue. So if you basically, any Bitcoin that you're buying right now, you're holding it until it's over 100,000 anyway. So at 20,000, anything under 20,000, you're still making 5 times your money by the time that you're gonna sell. So don't expect to sell next week. Don't expect to sell next month. I'm telling people September 2024, around the same time as the Deadpool 3 movie, once it's released. That's going to be around the same time that cryptocurrency starts having record highs and stuff like that again. It's going to be good until May 2025. And then I'm selling everything, and I'm going to live off of that for 3 years, and then I'm going to reinvest it again and do the same thing again, since it happens exactly the same way every 4 years. Within 1 to 200 days after the Bitcoin halving, traditionally we have seen record highs. This past halving, we had some extra hype that went along with it, but we still had the downward trend, just like there always has been. Just because that positive trend lasted a little bit longer than it usually doesn't mean that the next time it's going to last forever. So be ready to sell. Be ready to put your money in other investments. Whenever those go down, that might be a good time to buy some sort of stocks. Who knows? Our USD coin is our biggest winner for the day, which is not good because it just stays at $1. So that tells me that even Stellar Lumens isn't in the positive today, and Stellar was like positive every single day, almost every single day that everything else was negative throughout the past week. So there's definitely some good savings to be had, but I wouldn't go all in at this moment. I would set some limits, and I would keep on watching really closely between now and tomorrow. Shiba Inu at below 11 cents. That's a steal, because their roadmap has some really worthy events coming up in the next couple of years, and they are exactly as aware of the Bitcoin halving as I am. In fact, maybe even more. So they planned their stuff. The person that created the Shiba Inu token, it's on Robinhood with the top 16 tokens, and it's a joke token of a joke token. So it's actually such a good, bad investment. And that's really what I like to get people into, is like some good bad investments. Like everyone's like, don't buy the doggy coin, don't buy the doggy coin. And then I'm like telling people, well, actually doggy coin's kind of cool because it doesn't have a cap. And then all of a sudden, what does it do? It shows off its lack of cap all of a sudden, and then people are like, doggy coin, and then it goes away. And I'm like, sell now. And then what happens after I tell people to sell? People are like, I'm thinking about buying the doggy coin. And I'm like, too late. You should have done that 2 months ago. And they're like, well, is it really too late now? And I'm like, no, this is what you do. Spend $1 on doggy coin, and every time that dollar goes down to 50 cents, buy more. And anyone that did that is doing pretty well right now. I mean, as long as they're willing to hold it long enough. Now let's look at our stocks. 100 most popular stocks of the day. Our biggest losers are Canopy Growth, Tilray Brands, Sand Dollar, Aurora Cannabis. Are you seeing any similarity in these top 4 right here? They're all cannabis companies, and what's going on right now is it's harvest time. So all these companies are having their big harvest right now, and because every single company is having all of this harvest right now, that is not making their stock go up. That is making the price of marijuana go down, and that is meaning that there's sort of in some ways, a surplus. This is a naturally occurring event that also recurs every year because of harvest. People that are buying right now can basically hold until basically around February or April. You'll see some really, really good spikes in all of these. I mean, it might be another good opportunity to buy in January. It might even be a little bit lower than it is right now. But if you buy some right now, like legitimately today, I would buy these before the weekend goes through and they start having their flash sales or whatever to because right now their problem is that they have too much of what makes their stock worth money. So once that whittles down, through the winter when everyone smokes it all and no one's growing anything except for a couple of indoor people, then that supply is going to whittle down and that value is going to go back up, and then it's almost like it would almost be better if they could use like a trailer transport kind of system, and then just like time travel it like 3 months into the future, like harvest and then time travel 3 months. Pew! That would be maybe if you like slow, like seasoned it slow, not seasoned, dried it slow dry it, slow kiln dry, so that it takes extra long time, and 3 months later you got it and it's gold. It's worth more because no one else took 3 months to dry theirs. They threw it in the microwave dryer that they're building now that dries it instantly in an hour. Okay, so we've got some good deals in these marijuana stocks. Anything, especially with Biden, like making his announcement today, these stocks are just going to grow, and getting in them. This is still early in the marijuana industry, and it is a several billion-dollar industry. Look, 1.43 billion, 1.87 billion, 553 million, and then our biggest loser in the millions is Aurora Cannabis with only 306 million. Only 306 million. Only basically a third of a billion. So, yeah, the marijuana industry is a big one, and it's booming, and it's having its harvest right now, and that means that people that are buying right now are actually getting a great deal. So now let's look at our daily movers. Let's see what our biggest loser overall of the day is, according to Robinhood. I'm going to guess it's going to be the S&D China Group or whatever that is on the top every single day. Yep, told you, China Everbright HD Pacific Limited, 39% down, with a market cap of 931.94. It says it's 39% down, but yesterday it still had the same exact market cap. So I don't know what's going on there. I just know that I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to tell anyone to buy it or short it. Carry Properties Limited. This is the second time I've seen them on our radar, and they were like $20 like the last time they were on the radar. So let's see what this is doing. Oh man. In the past month, they have been a straight line. One thing I do have to admit about using Robinhood as my financial whatever, it doesn't really give me it gives me bad results sometimes. I would much rather be using really anything else. Webull, Ameritrade, all of those have much better platforms. And the only reason that I use Robinhood is because the guy that owns Robinhood, Vlad, whatever his name is, I know that he's a vampire, and I'm afraid that if I stop using it, the vampires will stop supporting me, and then I'll never sell my book, which has vampires in it. Yeah. So our daily movers for the day. Biggest winner is something I can't even pronounce here. Air is our biggest winner today. So if you're breathing, you're doing good. Congratulations on Air. Let's read a little bit about it. Air Test Systems engages in the design, manufacture, and marketing of test and burn-in products in the semiconductor manufacturing industry. Its products include wafer contact test systems, test burn-in systems, test blah blah blah. They do all kinds of things is what it looks like. So I'm going to say they're up 22% in the past month. They are up 134% in the past 3 months, and they are up 19% in the past year. Let's look at this 5 year. 307% up in the past 5 years, and most of it is from 2021. So whatever their test fixtures and stuff like that is, it really exploded in 2021, and they are now test fixturing all over the place, and people are buying their Air like they're buying bottled water. So thank goodness for bottled Air. Thank you, Air. Hello, I'm from 2020. You are the fan. Oh man, Pandy G. I became the richest man ever in the 21st century. Warren Buffett was jealous of me. He does get very jealous of me. In fact, you're right. I am actually currently the richest man in the entire world. But okay, you're kind of calling me out. There's a lot of spoilers, and I can't really tell people that I am the owner of the great big Dogecoin account that has all the coins in it, and everyone thinks that it belongs to Elon Musk, but no one's ever taken anything out of it. Wait, I'm not totally anonymous. I can't be saying that kind of stuff right now. Bye, Irish Island. Thank you very much for coming in. If you're about to go live, then I'll probably be raiding you after I'm done. Maybe I'll raid someone else today. Who knows? Thank you so very much for coming in. It was an honor having you on the show. Thank you, Pandy G, for coming in. It is nice to find another fellow person that's been to the 202nd century. That there's not too many people that have been there, and I know that my writings and stuff like that do help mold a new generation and eventually help save the world and create world peace and all kinds of stuff. But like I'm not around for it. But I did get one time travel ride to go look at it, so that was convenient. All right, so back to my ending scene. Thank you all very much for coming in. Just one more song. This is our outro song. And it won't last very long because I do not like long outro songs. So I'm going to stop it short right there, making it one of the shortest outro songs in the industry. Thank you all very much for coming in. You are number one. Don't forget to get your very own JGMF ring, which is really hard to get. You can't buy it anywhere. The only way you're ever going to get one is if you have someone that loves you enough to buy one for you, because you can't buy one for yourself. It has the stamp JGMF on the back of it, which stands for Jerry Garcia's middle finger, and it goes on your right middle finger, skull side up. So whenever you flip off people, you're doing it in the memory of Jerry Garcia, and in the name of at least half of his finger that would be missing. So JGMF. For the win. And it's over. Or is it over? Now get ready for the raid. We are raiding one of Trime Taveler's favorite people that are live. Let's see who's live on Twitch right now. Let me get into my creator dashboard. Let me push Stream Manager. Now let's push Raid Channel. And who have we got? We've got a perma-fried Wookiee traveling outdoors. That sounds good. Oh, we also got Wendy Harper, and I do love the harp very much, but perma-fried Wookiee, I feel like, yeah, that's where we're going. We're going to the perma-fried Wookiee, boys. Follow me. Ready to raid in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Raid now! Alright. Perma-fried Wookiee, look outside. He is my friend and he is outside.
If you have TV too, then that starts off with TV and internet about 115. So it's not bad. We're down by $15. Yeah, do you do TV too? How many TVs do you have? I can give you an example.
Haha.
That are connected. Yeah, so you're probably around that price. Okay, I'm gonna kind of assume. Okay. All right, sounds good. All right, thank you. Yeah, she just set up with AT&T a few months ago. Hey, welcome. Hey, Time Traveler. Now give us good content. Hey, I can't actually guarantee that. I'm a door-to-door salesperson, so it's actually predicated on who I'm talking to, or if somebody gets pissed off, then it kind of gets interesting, but I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. And I kind of got to the end of this road. We could cut through here. My car, oh, hold on. There's a car coming. My car's back here. I already did this, but I could walk a little bit down the street. Time Traveler, so, or Trime. I'm looking at it, I'm like, time, like I'm seeing it, but I do see the R right there. How'd you find me? 'Cause I don't recognize your name. I have two different Twitch accounts, actually. I have this one, and I also have one that I DJ. That is probably the more entertaining one. That one's under Poverty DJ. So I'm definitely going to DJ tomorrow. Sometimes I do Friday night. It just depends. Oh, check that bike out. Yeah, I'm in outside of Cleveland. You're like, you better give us good content or I'll kick your ass. You like Wookiees? Yeah. So I'm a big fish fan. Hey, how are ya? Yeah, awesome bikes. I'm not going to keep you long. I see you're busy. Damn, those are really nice. But I'm Stu with Breezeline. We're the cable company that bought WoW. So obviously we're just out here canvassing.
Oh, you know, shit, I changed from WoW like a couple months ago.
Did you? Were you having problems?
Yeah, so I got Spectrum now, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
All right, no problem. Is it okay if I'm actually doing a live on Twitch? Your bikes are pretty freaking cool. I wanted to see if that's up to you.
Yeah, no, I really don't.
Okay.
I got customer bikes. These are a lot of my customers.
Oh, yeah. So this is your business?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they're nice, man. Do you just do all different types of
Just Harleys.
Just Harleys. That's sweet. Like so do you get them and like paint them or anything like that?
I fix them, I repair them and build them.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the name of your company?
CLH Builders.
Okay. That's awesome, dude. I have a friend, they live out like in the Youngstown area. They don't really sell like specifically like Harleys or anything like that. They do like quads and dirt bikes and everything.
You know, I just specifically stick with Harleys.
Yeah.
No crotch rockets, no sports bikes, no none of that.
That's awesome. How'd you get into it?
I grew up in it. My family ride.
Nice. Yeah, it's great business to do.
Yeah.
Being self-employed, man, that'd be pretty. It's challenging, but on the other hand, it's like you can't say your boss is a dick.
Yeah.
You know, like, all right. Hey, I appreciate your time. Thank you. All right, he had some really nice bikes, but I could understand his reservations. Obviously he doesn't know who's watching, blah, blah, blah. He's not really in a great location, so. And then I just told him straight up. He was young. He probably knew what the hell I was doing, so. He just left WoW, so that was basically, I wasn't going to get a sale anyways. WoW is the company that BreezeLine switched over to. If he would have said, yeah, that's fine, we could have had some interesting content. Well, let's see here. This is where shit just stays and dies. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, there's a Spectrum. I mean, I'll be really shocked if somebody, maybe somebody died here like years ago. That was something of that cable line that's dangling down right here. I think that's an electric line. Holy, oh dude, this house ain't even connected to electric. Dude, nobody fucking lives here. I thought I heard somebody in the back. I'll just peek. Oh no, that's him. That's the guy I was talking to that had the Harleys. I mean, there's a Jeep right there. I mean, that other car you could tell hasn't been on the road for a while. The Jeep, on the other hand, oh, anyways, yeah, the reason why I got thing, I like the band Fish and some of the followers that are like the dirty hippies. Not necessarily the hippies. A Wookiee and a hippie are completely different. So there's probably a house. And some of the followers that are like the dirty hippies. Not necessarily the hippies. A Wookiee and a hippie are completely different. So there's probably a house here. They probably knocked it down.